I think the word transparency is overused and misused. I think what we have is a disconnect in information sharing. There's nobody on any side of anything hiding anything. What we have is like Cool Hand Luke said, what we have is a failure to communicate. We need to stop arguing over who gets what when. Everybody's got to figure out a way to come together and say, look, we're all on the same ideas. We all got the same thoughts here. Let's just stop, accusing people of what we're doing and open discussion, and that'll end all this thoughts on transparency. Thank you.
Well, the area of transparency, I think I cited it in my opening remarks in open government, and that was the discussion that we had over televising the budget workshops. To me, it was apparent that it shouldn't have been an issue at all. I would also like to advocate for more transparency, I guess, in government, just in terms of filling contracted positions. I think basically that we should be going out with solicitations for any contract for professional services that we have coming up, and by that I mean things like town attorney for the various boards. We need to announce those things. We need to get solicitations so that people realize that there is an open and competitive process. We have had situations where I know of where people have asked for public information, what I consider public information, and they have been delayed and stonewalled and told that they couldn't have it, and they were asked why they needed it as opposed to whether they could get it. So I do take exception to the last comments. I think we do need better communication amongst the citizens and the council moving forward. Thank you.
A number of years ago, when I first started getting involved in Verona town government, one of the things that I was trying to do was to actually get a copy of the budget. And I asked for the state form of the budget, and I filed an OPA request, and it was filled by our attorneys, and they included basically the middle packet of pages out of the budget. They took the header pages off, they took the last pages off, they took the capital budget off of it. They gave me kind of the middle of the document. I filed another OPA request that says I would like pages 1 through 48 and appendices so-and-so for the budget. I got the exact same packet of paperwork back. Asked a number of times, and finally I had to get Jason Kowski to intervene for me to get an actual copy of the state mandated form for the budget, and I got it, I believe, like a couple of days before the budget meeting. You can get documents, but sometimes it seems like there's a resistance to providing things that are clearly public information. We just ran into this with the Hilltop. The Environmental Commission wanted to get a copy of the actual plans for the Hilltop. They just wanted the set of documents, as was produced by planners that were working for the township, into which they have the statutory ability to review, and it was not really offered to them very openly. I think that we need to look at these things as being the people's work. The town is doing the people's work. It's on our behalf. All these documents, by default, should be open unless there's a reason why they need to be closed. If there's not a confidentiality reason for it, then they should be available for public inspection, and we should use the website regularly. We should put things on the website as an active practice, not put them on there only when someone asks for it. Things should be put on there by default. It's the best way to review and to watch what government is doing. Thank you.
I actually agree with what Mr. Williamson has said. Transparency, I believe, is the word itself is overused. I believe thoroughly in transparency, and I believe, personally, I certainly am. People have access to my email address, people have access to my phone number, and I communicate with anyone who wishes to communicate with me. Any question you want to ask, please give me a call, send me an email. I will be back to you within 24 hours, no question about it. As far as documents being available, I'm not involved in that. I know that our town manager does keep a close eye on that, but I believe that's his realm, and I believe he's possibly overzealous in trying to protect the council for whatever reason. But transparency is something that I think is overused right now, and anything you want to know, just ask me personally, please.
I'd like to just say that on transparency, it's what people perceive. And I know that when I sit down and watch VTV, I see many times the billboards or the placards that come up telling us about all the different events in town. And I know there's time on there to put on all of these meetings, like they're filming this meeting tonight to go on VTV. And I believe that all the budget meetings, the workshops, if we have the personnel to do it, they should be recorded and they should be played on VTV. Just as we are an automobile society, we're a technology society, and not everybody can come out to the meetings. If you can't come out to the meetings, you still have an opportunity to see what's going on in town and have yourself get an informed opinion, not just getting something that you heard by rumor or something like that. So I am much in favor of the transparency in letting them film all the different workshops and putting them on VTV. There's plenty of time to do it, and then people can watch when they have the time. Thank you.
Some examples of information that was not forthcoming was, of course, as was mentioned before, plans for the fields to the Environmental Commission. That's the Environmental Commission's job, and thank you, Jay, for demanding that the plans be given to them. And I believe that, finally, that somebody is going to be meeting with them. Also, the ownership of the property across from the high school for locating the shed, the landmark shed. It shouldn't take that long to find out who owns that property. We have tax maps, and there's always the Hall of Records to find out. And so far at the last council meeting, I know somebody asked, and Mr. Martin said they don't know yet. I think $12 for a copy of the budget, and not the state-mandated budget, but just 56 copied pages, is a way of preventing people from getting information. Information needs to be more accessible to residents. There should be little or need for Oprah requests, as a town as small as ours. If a request is made, the information should be available in a timely manner. Information to the council that their request should be supplied expeditiously, and that's the information to the council hasn't been either. Along with regular council meetings, there should be conference meetings on alternate Mondays to open to the public, where the town manager and department heads can bring up issues that can be discussed by council members informally. And that way, in a round table, in that way, every council member will have the same information, this is a problem I saw, to form their decisions on important issues to our town. Thank you.
I have the philosophy, I'm here to represent you. Anyone that knows me over the years and has come to the meetings, it drives me crazy when we get bogged down in long discussions of residents asking for a simple piece of information. For example, a couple weeks ago when Mr. Szymanowski with the Environmental Commission asking for the Hilltop Plan, here you have a group of volunteers who take their time, and part of their position is to review these plans. I feel as though that it's just not good practice to give the people and the residents the information that they want. I think we've made strides with this budget, and I agree with Mr. Ryan. I was a proponent of putting it on a television, where I think this budget process worked out great. I don't know how many towns that you would go to a meeting and be able to question a department head directly about their budget. This year you were able to do that. We had department heads come and give a presentation, and followed up by residents able to ask meetings. I think we've come a long way, and I think anytime a resident or somebody is requesting a piece of information, unless it's a legal document or under something to do with negotiations that might hurt the town's position on something, I think they should have it. And I think over the years, I think any resident that has talked to me, I've always tried to come through to give them what they want. And I think transparency and things like that is a work in progress, and I think we can always do better. My one regret over the years was that how long it took to get the budget online. On the website, we've taken care of that, and I think we're moving in the right direction, but we could always do better.